Hello, my name is Nate. The name of the show is To Be TV or Not to Be TV. I'm a big Shakespeare buff, so that's where I got the name. We've spared no expense for the show. You may notice this curtain behind me was bought at our very own Kmart right here in Santa Clarita. With this show, I plan to go into some explorations into TV. It's always been a fairly unusual medium for me, or maybe an extra large even or something. But seriously, we're going to talk about some things in the community. I'm going to turn you guys on to some things that are happening. And we've tried no kind of editing tricks, so don't be alarmed in case you see any like nude shots of Pamela Anderson or anything like that. It's only subliminal. It's really not there. Don't be alarmed. My first guest is putting together a cowboy poetry festival, which is happening at Melody Ranch. It's happening April 4th, 5th, and 6th. I would like to introduce, please, Andre Wolpart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Andre.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Nate.
I know you're really busy
Yes,
with the
we
festival. And I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is, do cowboys really write poetry, or what's up with that?
Well, of course they do. I mean, there were very many long, lonely nights out on the trail where they're sitting there, and they had no television, nothing, no Walkmans, anything like that. So they would recite stories to each other, tell their exploits, and eventually they found out that it worked a lot better when they had it to rhyme. And so eventually, of course, it was an oral tradition to start, and then it got written down. And the same is true with the music. It was basically to calm the cattle as they would ride along in the cattle herds. They would need to calm the cattle and to soothe them, and that's where a lot of the songs came from.
I had no clue. I had no clue. So it's just started out as like stories, and then they evolved them into rhymes just to keep interested.
Absolutely. I mean, it was probably a pretty boring thing to do a cattle drive. I mean, there's one song that has some like hundreds of stanzas that they just kept adding to and adding to and adding to until they got to where they were going.
That's amazing. Now, at the festival, I know there's going to be some music and various entertainment. Will there be poetry too? I mean,
of course there'll be poetry. We have tried to put together a very good blend of poets, balladeers, and groups that perform. In every performance that is in the Melody Ranch Theater, there will be poetry and music, so that if you don't particularly think you're going to like the poetry, and you know you like the music, you may be surprised and find out that you actually really do like the poetry. So we've tried to put together a pretty good little blend of both of these things. And then we have a lot of free entertainment going on. And in that aspect, we have a California Music Hall and the Chuck Wagon Stage, and these are all free to the public. Those also have a blend of the music and the poets.
Okay, now I know a lot of the entertainment is happening in the main building. Where is that?
It's called the Melody Ranch Theater.
Oh, okay.
And that's what you need tickets for. And unfortunately, a lot of those things are already sold out, but we do have some tickets, especially on Sunday.
Okay.
But as I said, if you just spend the $5 for the general admission, it's worth it just to see Melody Ranch. We have over 50 free performances throughout the weekend that people can go, hear poetry, hear music. 50 gear show vendors. They can buy saddles. They can buy an outfit like this, hats, all kinds of things. So, and food, of course, great peach cobbler, great Chuck Wagon food.
Okay, now a lot of the free music will be off of Main Street?
Actually, some of it will be right on Main Street. And we will have Benny Martinez again, who is a wonderful vaquero with his horse, and he is actually going to, since this is really basically a cultural event, he will give a little dissertation after he performs about what the vaquero did.
Oh, wow.
And the vaquero, of course, is a precursor to the American cowboy.
Right, okay. Now, I know I'm going to be there on a Saturday.
Great.
Unfortunately, I just waited way too late.
To buy tickets?
Yeah.
There are some tickets left, and there are definitely tickets left for the first performance on Saturday, which is R.W. Hampton, who has a wonderful baritone voice, and he's going to be debuting his new album. And then all the shows on Sunday still have tickets. So, and one show in particular, the one that starts at noon, is a very good family show. A lot of fun, a lot of yodeling, and you can get in that for only $3. So that's even cheaper than paying the $5 admission.
Okay, now it sounds pretty authentic. I mean, you know, people in the garb and everything. You know,
there are a lot of people that walk around. Of course, you can come just dressed any way you want and be comfortable. But there are people. Melody Ranch was Gene Autry's film studio.
Oh, okay.
Where he filmed a lot of things. Gunsmoke was filmed there, the movie High Noon. It unfortunately burned down in the 1960s in the terrible fire in Placerita Canyon. And the Valuzays, who own it, rebuilt it from pictures that people have sent them. So, and people that have seen it says it looks pretty much like it looked.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's worth it just to see Melody Ranch. You don't get to see Melody Ranch any other time. Santa Clarita has a lot of history. It was once one of the biggest cattle areas in California.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it isn't like we just said, hey, let's have a cowboy festival in Marina del Rey or something. There's
Right.
a great deal of history here, a lot of culture here that goes back, and it'd be wonderful for children to see it.
Yeah, my kids, especially my son, goes nuts
Absolutely.
over the cowboy stuff, and he's got the hat and the boots
Right.
and everything. Bugged me forever to get some boots.
It's a lot of fun.
I guess
Culture can be fun.
yes. Okay, and you were saying a lot of the cowboy culture is from Santa Clarita. I mean, I know
Well,
William S. Hart.
William S. Hart, of course, was a silent film star who has his home here. It was
Right.
built in the 1920s. And there was a great deal of filming here, of course. Lots of,
Oh, wow.
not only Melody Ranch, but Monarch Studios before that. The whole Plaza Rita Canyon area, Harry Carey had his ranch over in San Francisco Canyon. So there's a
wow.
lot of the cowboy past that is here.
I mean, and this sounds like a lot of work to get it together. How long does it take you?
We work on it all year.
All year?
All year we work on this. It is a lot of work, and we're very proud of the festival. We had one of the performers today just say how in just 4 short years this is considered one of the finest festivals in the country. Ranks up there with the Elko, Nevada one, which is the granddaddy of them all, where everyone, about 100,000 people go to that one. And we put a lot of work into it. It's a first-class show. These are the finest performers of this genre you're going to get. I mean, people will go, well, how come you don't have Garth Brooks? It's not country western. It is cowboy.
okay.
And someone once explained the difference to me. Country western kind of takes place in honky-tonks and in bars. Cowboy takes place outside, basically. The songs come from the tradition of the outside, of the West, of the cattle drives, of things that happen. And we have the finest performers there are. We don't, I mean, bar none. These are the best.
Wow, okay. And you say Sunday is the only day with some of the
Well,
shows left?
there's Sunday, all 3 shows. There's a show at noon with Sourdough Slim and the Saddle Pals. The show at 2 with the Hayes County Gals and Pals, which is a wonderful group from Texas that I got to see in Tucson, and they are absolutely outstanding. I cannot recommend them highly
yeah.
enough.
Okay.
And then at 4 o'clock, the Sons of San Joaquin, who have been at the festival every year and are absolutely outstanding.
I think I saw them last year.
They're wonderful. There are 2
they're
brothers
fabulous.
and a nephew, and they sing the most wonderful harmony. And my daughter, who is in her early 20s, came last year, and she didn't think she'd like it. She heard them and went, my goodness, these people really sing.
That's
It's beautiful. So these are the finest performers there are, and I wouldn't miss the chance.
Oh, wow. Well, I will certainly be there.
Good.
on
I'm glad,
Saturday.
Nate.
I'll
I
be
will
looking-
look for you.
I'll be looking
I'll be the
for you.
harried lady with the phones and all the radios looking
Running from one end of Main
exactly
Street
to the other.
other.
Hopefully not. Hopefully we're pretty organized. It's pretty put together. It's a very well-run show, and we're
Wow.
very proud of it.
Well, once it gets going, it just takes away its own momentum.
Well, one hopes so.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, not going to work.
Yes.
Okay, well, I do appreciate you coming.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I mean,
I know.
I love the festival, and I want everyone in Santa Clarita to come and enjoy it and relive a little of our heritage and have fun at the same time.
Cool, excellent. Well, thank you so much,
you're welcome.
Andre
My
Walter.
pleasure. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you. If you've been watching Public Access, as I know you all have, you probably ran across a show called Epicenter, a poetry reading. The producer is actually here with us right now because during the actual poetry reading, he was host, and he really didn't get a lot of poetry to read, so I wanted to give him this opportunity on my show. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Richard Weekly.
Thank you, Nate. Nice to be on your show. I'll read a set of poems. The first is called A Man Awakens. A man awakens. The desire for beauty moves him. Soon he is walking back and forth, back and forth. Some say he is mowing his lawn. Others say he is mad. The motor before him purrs and purrs. He doesn't know where the desire to improve comes from. He only knows he is gripped in its net. He has walked out of his life. He walks back and forth. You sit in your chair, catching the whole world as it passes, feeling the traffic inside a sleeve, feeling the breath of sirens. You sit in your chair, you catch everything this purple all at once and chase everything that cannot move. You sit in your chair. You catch the whole world as it passes, catching the zinnias in the act of being themselves, wiping the corpses of clouds from your lips. How is my life at all like yours? In one Buddha breath, we are gone. How sometimes he accomplished nothing of what he intended, and he'd find himself staring at a thorn of a rose bush he hadn't expected to see, and he should have been doing 20 other things. The next thing he knew, he had it by the roots, and it was 11:35 a.m., and his finger was bleeding. That moment was planted there years ago and had waited all these years to be opened. His hand refused its desk. It begged to prune, to pull, to trim. It asked for blood so it could remember what it had forgotten. And then one day, I am the washerwoman, that wise lady who knows the best way to mop the floor. It is as it's always been, on your hands and knees with bucket and your favorite rag. And she knows I knew which corner to start, how everyone must remove every trace of furniture and the exact measure of soap, how to scrub and rub and scrub until you are empty of yourself, and the pain of scouring disappears so completely you lose track of the hour and you don't know the day. And some people will try to tell you this is not a love poem, that it has nothing to do with vapors or desire. But I and the washerwoman, red of knee, will not answer you on this. We will walk away, leaving you with the gleaming speech of floor. You have a kid or two, and so you lose a decade here or there, and then one day you go back. Your poems exactly where you left them, only you do not remember them even though your name is on them. And you can't even tell if it's done or just a work in progress. And what is worse, the poem does not remember you, even though you smile best you can and try to look coy. So you prod one, underline a keyword here and there. Maybe it will remember your touch. It doesn't move. The way lovers in old photos stare stiffly into forever, even when you caress them. Its life is its own now, like a love that has moved on to a life you can't imagine. And the poem yearns for you to put it away, to close the cover. The light is heavy and hurts. It yearns for the drawer's familiar dark where it lives, a lion among many, willing to roar in your dreams if only you can keep yourself from reading it.
Okay, just when you thought it was safe to turn back on your TV, I'd like to introduce some friends of mine. The 60s were very good to these fellas. Can we please hear it for Art Stucco and Matanga Umbaki?
this morning on the telephone. In the back of my mind, I wonder if you're sleeping alone. You said you've been up since 6 a.m. Thoughts of me running through your head. That's all I want to hear, and I just gotta make you my own. I said nothing could touch me or change the way I feel. I've seen a false emotion enough to know what's real. You know I love it when you touch my hand. I see your face and I'm flying again. Don't ask me for what I'll let you steal. And I'm stealing kisses in the parking lot. I wanna steal away with what I got. Wait a minute, baby, gotta call a friend. Someone's gotta catch me 'cause I'm falling again. I want you so much you can taste it. I love you mucho, so don't you waste it. Got to be together, just let's face it. Why don't you bring me lunch again to the apartment? And we can work a little harder on this thing we have started. You know I love it when you're smiling again. Your painful days come to an end. You know this love will steal away a broken hearted. And I'm stealing kisses in the parking lot. I wanna steal away what I got. Wait a minute, baby, gotta call a friend. Someone's gotta catch me 'cause I'm falling again. I want you so much you can taste it. I love you mucho, so don't you waste it. Got to be together, let's just face it. Said we got to be together, let's just face it. Said we got to be together, let's just face it. 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 Let's just face it.
Welcome back. My name is still Nate, and of course you know who you are, but you may not know who the next poet is. A very special lady. Has been doing poetry in the Santa Clarita Valley for years, maybe 20 years, if not more. She's also my wife. So all the guys out there, just be forewarned that this is my wife. Okay, I'd like to introduce Tina Landrum, right here. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Nate.
How you doing?
Thanks for asking me.
Well, thanks for being here. You were very easy to get in touch with.
I got your
Every
message.
morning. Okay, so without further ado, please, I would just like to sit here and gaze at you all night. But
I'll read.
Okay.
Thanks. This first poem goes back to my mom and all the years and all the conversations, and finally finding our way to having one between adult mother and adult daughter. It's called The Rose. Going down with the Holy Spirit on a foggy Saturday in Anaheim. There's nothing better, she tells me. Warm Darjeeling swirls brown against this American mouth. Yellow rose petals fall from grace into espressos and muffin tins. We are talking God, a mother and daughter. About the humming of tongues and my expansion of cells. She's pink, a petal. We pollinate each other with passing bread and prophets' voices. Two women inside a relationship of time. There's not too much to say about being married to Nate. And all that can be said is said in the poem that I wrote for him and read to him the day we were married at our wedding reception. It's called Everyday Things. Alarm clocks and wishbones and tea, dusty parks in the sun, laying plates on the table, opening windows for the breathing of it. Everyday awakenings find me sharing the same warm wrappings of our skins and verbal appreciation of a curve before dressing. I see that the sliding of arms and backs between us every morning is the rubbing of our body sense as a reminder of the desire to always keep in touch. You have become a sweet everyday thing, and as seasons spiral their sweat and ice, we are yearly ourselves, changing our colors at wind's touch, contemplating the possibility of seeds. Everyday things now are brushed by you. Our children are guided through the rocks with humor and honesty. The making of meals, manipulation of laundry machines, the small phenomena of video, all arrive dressed differently with your suitcase. I love our lingering conversations at the end of dinner, the ones before sleep, what I plan to lay before you the next time we meet. You are a part of my everyday and yet miraculous for my heart. And now today you are even more. We are joined in an unseen mingling. Tendrils pass between us. The loops and passings make a fine weave. Today I am the happiest. You are my everyday husband.
Okay, this is what to be TV or not to be TV is all about here. Acts like this. Can we please put our hands together for the Smangis?
Looking for something to cover my heading for someone to keep me awaking to the same thing every day. Looking for someone to keep me alive. Keep me alive. I got tulips on my tulips of love. I'm driving in my car, listening to cartoons. Yeah, I got 3 legs. I got 3 legs. I got 3 legs. 3 legs of love. your simple beauty standing in front of me. You're here to help me be safer with that side of me, stronger yet.